happy we made it back alive. So, it is Sunday in the Dominican Republic, and in the neighborhood that I live in, um, people play music on the weekends, and I like it. I like the fact that people play music, but you may hear that music on this live stream. Um, in this particular neighborhood, they usually play like older, slow romantic songs, which I like. I do like that. And I like that people have speakers, bocinas, and it's very loud. But it's not like bad music either. It's not bad music. It's like usually, love songs about, missing someone or being in love with your significant other, and like I'm all, down with that. I think that's super cool. So today I had the opportunity. First off, thank you for all and like and subscribe and share, and shout out to all the truck drivers out there who work very hard to do such good and long hours and hard work for the American people. Today, I had the opportunity to talk to my ex-wife and my daughter, and we got on the phone, and I spent some time talking to them about life and, my daughter and how she's doing and well-being. And we talked a lot about, what we were going through at the time when the divorce happened and our relationship broke up. And it was good to talk. And then I got my daughter and my ex-wife there on the phone on speaker, and then we prayed a little bit. I know we're not together anymore, and we don't live anywhere near each other, but I do want to see the best for my daughter's in there. We do want to see the best for her. That's what we want. Okay. So I got some water here. I turned the fan off. I'm inside. It's a little hot today. The air conditioner's on in the back, so I'm going to stay up here as long as I can before I get too hot. And you guys can listen to all the romantic music in the background. As I explained, I do like it, but it's Sunday, and this usually makes me feel better. If anyone out there, likes to watch these or sometimes feels that they need some inspiration, this is what I like to do. And it is Sunday. I cleaned up the house a little bit, so we got some time. Let's read some Bible quotes. That's what we're going to do, okay? And as always, if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? 2 Timothy, oh boy, man. Sometimes it's hard to read out of this eye. It's just hard to read. I might have to close my eye to do it. I'm sorry. 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. That's a good one. Hey, is that Afani and Allison? I am in the Dominican Republic. Where are you? Let's read 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God gave us... Well, you know what? I can make that bigger, I think. Okay. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. That's the same one we just read. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Let's try this one. We're going to read Psalms. I got to make this bigger. I'm sorry, guys. I have to make this bigger because, as you know, my vision is not the best out of my right eye anymore. But I do want to read these. How do I make these bigger? I would just love for these to be like full screen. That's okay. Hold on. We're going to solve this. We're going to solve this. No problem. We're going to solve this problem today. Do you guys like the music that's playing in the background? I was talking about it, here on the weekends they play music. And it's good music though, you know what I mean? It's like romantic music. And it kind of just like fills the whole neighborhood. I kind of like that. Um, so if you guys can hear it, that's what that is. Um, oh, here we go. I found a way to read these a little bit bigger here, guys. A little bit bigger. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and knock them out. Here we go. Let's read them. That's a good one too. This is 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. This is a good one. It's short too. Do everything in love. That's really important. I like that. Do everything in love. That applies to like everything. Wow. Whatever you do everything in love. I like that. Luke 6, verse 31 says, do to others as you would have them do unto you. That's probably a much more popular Bible quote, and that is something that is hard for us to do sometimes here in the real world. Sometimes we get upset, people make us mad. It's important though to remember to treat people how you want to be treated. And as simple as that sounds, it's such a simple quote. Do to others as you would have them do to you. It's so simple, but at the same time, we live in a world now where it's very retaliatory, and the internet encourages a lot of us to treat the opposite sex very badly. It's a lot of selfishness going on, and I think the world would be a better place if a lot of us followed that a little bit. That one Bible verse, a little bit better. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Luke 6:31. Psalms 31:24. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. That speaks to strength and dedication to having faith in the Lord and His promises. Give thanks in all circumstances. Is that Thessalonians? Yeah, First Thessalonians 5:18. Give thanks in all circumstances. You know how like we'll be like thankful when things are going bad. We'll start praying. Oh God, help me out of this. You know what I mean? But when everything's going good, we have to act in a fool. I'm guilty of that. I've done that before. Give thanks in all circumstances. You know what I mean? Not just when things are going good. You know what I mean? A lot of us like to come back when things are going bad, but all circumstances, right? When everybody's got their money together and life's going good, everyone's like, oh, forget it. I don't care about the Bible. I don't care about God. That's how people are. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of it too, but always. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light for my path. Psalms 119:105. I mean, I would interpret that as, reading the Bible is a necessary activity for those who feel that they're on the wayside and they want to keep their life on the right path, or maybe you want to get back on the right path. Maybe you've realized the error of your ways in your life, like I have. I've realized a lot of errors in my ways, and when I was talking to my ex-wife and my daughter today, we live so far apart now, but my daughter still needs a father, and I feel bad. So we were trying to work up like some sort of solution, something that we could do to make things better. For her sake, it's biased. I mean, I love my daughter. It's a little biased, but we do want to see her do very well in life, Show me your ways, Lord. Teach me your paths, from Psalm 25:4. I ask God for that too, and I hope you all do too. To ask God to, show you a more righteous way to live, Sometimes we do need teachings. Sometimes we need a mentor. Sometimes we need guidance. Guidance. And I've made a lot of decisions in my life that I didn't really consult people on. People that I trusted. Is this a good move? Should I do this? Sometimes I just did things, and it took me down a path of self-sabotaging behavior. And I'm thankful for what I have now, and God has brought this realization to my mind that really a lot of times people say, oh, the devil, but the devil only tempts you to go down a path. In reality, we lead ourselves astray. We do it ourselves. We lead ourselves astray. We choose to go the wrong way. Now, it is possible that some people don't know about God or the Bible, and they choose to do something before they knew. But once you know the right path, or once you see the error of your ways in your own life, it's important that you try to become a better person, and ask for forgiveness from God and correct your mistakes, and get up and try again. Life is about learning. Life is about mistakes. But I've recognized, the path that I've gone down. I don't even recognize myself anymore sometimes. And I want to bring myself back, to who I was when I was younger, full of joy and light, before all the sin and the darkness entered into my life. And it's still there now. And, that's why Jesus Christ died for us. And, we all sin, but, we can have joy in the fact that, we're here, we're alive, and that we can live our lives to the best of our ability, in a righteous way, and hopefully encourage others to do the same. Let's keep going. It's too much of me talking. I don't want to start. I'm not preaching. I don't want to preach. I want to preach. Okay. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. This is from Philippians 4:4. I have a problem doing that too. The Bible wants us to be happy. Make a joyful noise. Rejoice, be happy. And I'm sometimes doom and gloom. And I don't want to be doom and gloom. I want to have that joy that I had when I was a child. I want to feel God's love. You know what I mean? And this has encouraged us to rejoice. Be happy. Be happy. God loves you. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things, from Colossians 3:2. This is so hard to do now these days. Set your mind on things above. It's very easy to want to have and manifest the things that we can see with our physical eyes, not our third eye, which is, spiritual happiness, peace, heaven, abundance, right? Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. And unfortunately, in 2025, social media and the internet, there's a lot of emphasis on having more, having worldly possessions, and it's tough. Sometimes I catch myself too. I've been trying to rework my social media feeds so that, I'm trying to engage and like and comment on content that is more high vibrational, of the light, focuses on God and spirituality, because if you don't control your social feeds, you will get a lot of stuff that encourages you to be an evil person and to have a lot of wealth and greed, and that's not what we want. We want a life of peace and love and joy, and not of earthly possessions, And if God blesses us with earthly possessions and money, I would hope that, it would be your wish to share it and help others in need, God provides all things for us. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Okay, Matthew 5:14. So if you accept, God into your life, and you choose to prophesize and, read and speak about it, it's saying that you're a light. you shine your light. And it's a metaphor here that it's a town built on a hill. So, I mean, if you have a bright light, that would be you, your soul. If you're a shining, bright soul on top of a hill, your light can't be dimmed. You have to speak up, speak out. You shouldn't force people to do anything. Life is about free will. We all have free will. So you can't force someone to say, hey, you need to go this route. You need to find your divinity. You need to accept, God. No. But it is okay to talk about it and, prophesize about it. It is. It's very important. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Psalms 136:1. I went out up into the mountains not too long ago, and it gets cold up there, even though I'm in the Dominican Republic. I found a spot. I pulled over my motorbike, and the breeze was just coming in, and the trees were moving, and the clouds and the mountains, and it was silent, and it was peaceful. And the only way I can describe it is it was just, the peace. It's like God's love. There was no noise. There was no distractions. It was just birds and wind and the trees and the cool air, and the sun was coming up over the mountains with the clouds, and it was just, it was absolutely beautiful. It was magnificent. And, that's the only way I can really describe like God's love. His love endures forever. It's that peace that you have. You find that peace in your heart, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, right? We love that quote. It's a very, very popular quote. Understanding that you don't always know what's coming in your life, and only God knows. You can't predict the future. Oh, let's see. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. Joyful in hope. Okay, so have joy for the things that you hope will come. Okay, that means don't stress about the future, right? Patience in affliction. So if you're going through a trial or tribulation or a dark period of your life, have patience. Wait on God. Patience in affliction. Wait on God to resolve it. Don't be so quick to try to control everything and make things worse. I've made that mistake so many times in my life. So many times in my life I tried to, control the situation and, speed things up. And, God has a perfect plan for all of us. And faithful in prayer. Now, that's something I'm working on. I did pray today, my ex-wife and my daughter on the phone, but, it's important that I try and do it more and have, positivity. There really is power, and there's Bible verse that talk about there's really power in your tongue, like what you say. You can really manifest what you say if you're not careful. And that's why I think, today in society, there's so much cursing and people saying wild and outlandish things, because really it's the devil at work behind the scenes. He wants us to say things that will bring destruction into our own lives. He wants us to mimic these dark things, and what happens is we end up speaking, curses and darkness over our own lives, instead of speaking blessings and joy and abundance and happiness and wealth and peace, love and light, For nothing will be impossible for God. Luke 1:37. That's right. I'm going through a tough situation right now, and if you're going through one too, for nothing will be impossible for God. If you ask God for it, you'll have it. I think it says in the Bible, I think, okay, this is I think, because I don't know the exact verse, but I think if you ask God for something, as long as it's aligned with the plan that he has for your life, he'll give it to you. I think that's what it says somewhere. I'm going to try and find that for you guys one day. Grace be with you all. Hebrews 13:25. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a strong of trouble. Psalm 9:9. Now, I like that because, a lot of people won't believe in God. They won't find God. But, if you're like me, something's going to happen in your life one day. And, you're going to feel like the world is against you. You're going to feel oppressed. That's what oppression is, you know what I mean? Being held back, you're going to feel like everything's coming down on you, And that's what kind of woke me up to it The fact that I wasn't actually living the right way. Like I really wasn't. I really wasn't living the right way. And I'm not talking about like, oh, man, I don't want to, talk about God stuff. It's gonna be boring. You know what I mean? It's not. It wasn't like that. It's just like I really wasn't living the right way. Like I was making mistakes. Like I really wasn't doing things the right way. I was making like things harder for myself. And, eventually it got me to this point where like I felt depressed. I felt like the world was against me. I felt like people were working behind my back, whether they were or not, I just felt like everything was wrong. And as the troubles got worse, I was like, what's happening? Why is this happening to me? Why do things keep happening to me the same way? And then I started looking in the Bible and I realized like, oh, it's right there. Like I'm just making mistakes. I'm just living my life wrong, honestly, and that's why I come up here now and I do this more. It's just, I wasn't even aware. I think that's sometimes like the most shocking thing about, the Bible, if you've never read it. Like some of the stuff in here is just general good life advice. Like Proverbs is like that. Like a lot of the Proverbs is just like basic, good, like solid life advice for anybody, you know what I mean? To just take it like, hey, that's just, good advice, period, And that's how I look at it now. Okay, for the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with victory. Wow, for the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with victory. Wow, being humble. Wow, that's a deep one. There's a lot of boisterous people in the world today. The devil is loud, righteousness is quiet, right? For the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with victory. I like that one. That's Psalms 149, verse 4. Hope in the Lord and keep his way. Psalm 37:34. Hope in the Lord and keep his way. And how you know his way? You got to read the Bible. That's what I'm doing. I'm starting to realize that now. That's his way. That's what you got to do. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. Now, see, that's from Proverbs. Now, that's just good advice. This is good life advice. Just be positive, speak positivity, because anxiety is bad. It will weigh you down. But a kind word cheers you up, and that's like, do unto others as you would want others to want to be treated kindly. Say something nice to somebody, be kind to somebody. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. That is true. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. That was 1 Peter 4:8. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. That means like if you have something that you do in your life, a sin, if you have something that plagues you, basically saying that love can overcome anything. We'll do a few more and that's it. A new commandment I give you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. That's not what's going on in the world today, right? It's John 13:34. Unfortunately, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another well. We live in a world now where there's a lot of war, a lot of cultural clashing. Who belongs in this land doesn't, that's definitely not loving one another, I wish, we could all be a little bit more accepting of our fellow humans sometimes, and as Martin Luther King said, judge each other by the context of our character, which Social media does help with that nowadays. It does. I do like that social media has kind of brought down like people's biases of one another, and like you can just judge people in their context, who they are. Like for example, like on TikTok, a lot of people dance, and like if you can dance, you can dance. It doesn't matter, your gender or your color or where you're from or what language you speak. Like if you can dance, you can dance. And people show appreciation for that. Show love, for one another. But overall in the world, there's definitely a lot of conflict and fighting. Definitely a lot of love for money. I've been guilty of that myself. I wish we could all love one another more. Oh, I like this song too. They play love songs all day out here, all day on Sunday, and I like it. It's good. It's positive. It's better than having like negative music playing. It's definitely a good thing. Whoever does not love does not know God. Well, that's deep. Okay, so you can't have hate in your heart. If you don't have love in your heart, then you don't know God, because God is love, right? That's 1 John 4:8. God is love, right? The peace that you feel when you smile, when you laugh at a joke, when you go for a run, your body feels good, Love, God is love. You make a delicious meal to eat, you spend time with your family and friends, your loved one, your significant other. I know I feel love when I talk to my daughter. I know that, she's very sweet and she's always upbeat and happy and she has all that joy inside of her, It's just kind of fun to watch and see, because she's still so young, but she's really smart and she just has all that joy inside of her. I'm trying to get back to being the same way. And may the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another and for all, as we do for you. Love for one another once again. That's First Thessalonians 3:5. So I probably read enough for today. And at least for this session, I don't like the lives to go too long. I'm almost at 30 minutes. But I do feel better after reading that. There were some ones in there that I highlighted that I thought are really good. I do have a physical Bible. I got to get my hands on it again, just to carry around. I know they have apps and stuff like that now, but sometimes I don't like using my phone. I like using it for streaming, but I don't like interacting with social media as much now. It can be destructive for some of us, so But anyway, thanks for you guys who watched. Check out the replay. And you guys enjoy your Sunday. Have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? God bless. All right.